Yes, boys, it's great to see you guys here again. I'm youcef, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to another news daily video. For today's video, I'll be talking about good news surrounding Callum HUDSON ODOI, Rhys James. I'll be talking about our interest in Atal from REECE, and to end things, I'm going to give the update on Danny Drinkwater. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. And as I constantly keep stressing and saying all the time, the OneFootball app really is the best football companion app to have on the market. I use it every single time. Every single day for my videos, because I get the news surrounding stats, news across Europe, everything. I get all the information I need in my phone. So if you guys want that, you'll find it in the link in the description below. And of course, you guys, if you want to look as good as me, I know you're seeing the new training kit right here. You'll find a link in the description below if you want to buy it yourself. Now that all this stuff's out of the way, let's get straight into the video, starting with the news surrounding Callum HUDSON ODOI. Now, word from the grapevine is that HUDSON ODOI has agreed and signed his new contract, and all we need to wait for next week is for the club to release the photos surrounding the new contract extension. So if that's the case, that's unbelievable news. HUDSON ODOI is the future. I believe in him, but I also think that as fans, we need to be very realistic. Let me use a player as an example, Raheem Sterling. Now, Raheem Sterling back in the day when he was a teenager looked very promising, looked very exciting, but his end product wasn't always there. And by end products, mostly his efforts on goal. And it really took him how many years until he developed that killer instinct. So when he realized that Raheem Sterling made his debut at 16, he's like, what, 24, 25? His goal scoring exploits have only come over the past few seasons, let's say the past 2 seasons. Now, it's taken this guy nearly, what, 6 years to get up to a high enough level where he's finally fulfilling his potential. And that's how football works, you know? A lot of these times, players don't reach their peak until they're like 24 to 27. So why is it going to be any different for players like HUDSON ODOI, Rhys, etc, etc. Now, in my opinion, I do feel that HUDSON ODOI is better than Raheem Sterling was at the same age, and that's down to the fact that I think HUDSON ODOI is a better finisher and he's more potent in the books at a younger age. So that's very exciting in regards to the player, and it tells us that by the time he fully reaches his peak, he could really become an unbelievable player. Now, getting back to contract news and rumours that he is going to be signing a new 180k per week deal. Well, it's looking like that could be the case. However, when it comes to the actual details in regards to how this is going to consist of, for me, I think the safe assumption to make is that his contract is mainly going to consist of clauses. And I think that this is the best strategy to have. And from my point of view, I kind of see it as if the club is giving Callum a performance contract. You know, we have to understand, Callum is 18, he's young, he's hungry, he wants to succeed. This contract complements all the efforts that Callum wants to make. Every time Callum does something good, he's going to be rewarded in his bank account, and that's only going to give him that mental edge and make him even more competitive. And I think that's the best approach to have. The club are thinking, you know what, Callum, if you want to earn 180k per week, you need to perform and you need to make sure that you meet the clauses. And I think for someone this young, that's the best approach to have. You know, imagine it like this, you know, imagine Callum has scored the winner in the final minute, in the 90th minute. He's going to be happy. He's going to celebrate knowing that he's going to earn a few extra bags on top. And you know what that means? The weekend's going to be a very good one. And I think for a young player that's starting to make his name in the game, this contract is going to reflect all the efforts that Callum HUDSON ODOI wants to put into the game. And to end with the final piece of news, and the news does get better surrounding Callum HUDSON ODOI, it's looking like he will be playing in the game, the under-23 game versus Brighton this Friday. Great news. Callum is getting closer to full match fitness. For me, this could indicate that he may be starting from the bench very soon, and if that's the case, the minute guys like him return to the team, we become a completely different animal. Now, moving on to the second story for today, that's in regards to Rhys James, and credit to the club's social media team. I do have to say that this season in particular, they've really stepped up a lot more. I like what they did to announce that Rhys James is finally training again with the first team. Great news, unbelievable news. especially when we know as fans that that right hand side isn't solid. We know that Aspie doesn't necessarily complement the role that well, and we know that Rhys is needed for the team due to the fact that he suits the system. Now let's not get too excited. Rhys is returning back to training with the first team. That doesn't mean that he has his full match fitness, and I think that's going to take him a few more weeks. It's going to be interesting to see whether he maybe gets some minutes from the bench in that development game this Friday. If that's the case, that could indicate to us that Rhys may be returning back to the team much quicker than we expected. You know what? I'm ready for Rhys to return to the team. I've been visualizing his crosses from out wide going straight to the head of Tammy Abraham. I'm just picturing him tanking the right hand side as well. And you know what? The fact that this guy can play in midfield as well, it means that he has an even greater use for the squad. And I've always said this, I've always got Philip Lahm vibes from Rhys James. He's just a natural football player. He can do everything, and once this guy comes back to the team, I really feel like he's gonna take a lot of Premier League fans by surprise. Now we move on to the third story for today. This guy's a very familiar player. He's someone I've spoken about before. He's been reported by the media time and time again. His name is Atal, and he plays right back for Nice. And reports are suggesting that we want to sign Atal for 35 million in the summer. Now Atal is an incredibly skillful player. He's someone I've watched before. He's a very good player, you guys, very good. Last season for Nice, he scored 6 goals in 29 games, most notably scoring a hat-trick, playing left wing, and the guy can do everything. He really is the modern day fullback, and it's no surprise that he plays for Nice. Nice have a recent history of going for fullbacks of this dimension, and we've got history speaking to Nice as well. We've made inquiries in regards to Anthony Player at the time, and Cyprian as well. Now, I can imagine what you guys are saying right now. Nini, how are you getting so gassed and hyped about Atal? Wasn't it just 10 seconds ago we were talking about Rhys James and why you're so excited to see him? Come on, you guys, you know what? In life, you can't have your cake and eat it. And I'm going to give you guys my reason as to why it would make a lot of sense to sign Atal next summer. Now, I'm going to use Man City for my example, and as you guys can see, when you look at their fullbacks, you can see that all of them got a healthy amount of game time last season. And there's a big, massive reason for this. In modern day football, the fullback has become one of the most important players. There's a big reason for that. With teams now and how they defend off the ball, they're able to keep their shapes and remain compact for even longer now due to how fit players are these days. And this means that there is space out wide, and to really fully utilize and really optimize how you use the flanks, you need to have good technical attacking fullbacks. And if you're a big team, you need to have 2. And that's because, think about it, if you're playing as a fullback in a big team, you're basically playing box to box. It's a very physically demanding role. And come on, Rhys is 19 years old. We can't expect this guy to be playing 60 games a season immediately. And it would be okay for him to have competition behind him. It's something he'd like himself, and I think that to have a competitive, strong squad, you need to have decent players in each position. And this is why I feel Atal would be a great player for the squad, because the guy suits playing that role. It would mean that we don't lose any quality whenever we need to rotate between the right backs. And on top of that, Atal can play in different positions. He can play as a winger, he can play down the left as well. And he's a type of player that we would produce in the academy. We produce players that are able to play in many different positions. And I think that when you consider how strong you want your squad to be, having players like Atal in it is only going to do you a lot of favours. You guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Would you like to see Atal come, or do you feel that we need a different target for that position? And to end things with a final story surrounding Danny Drinkwater, there has been an update, and this story has been reported by The Athletic, as you guys can see, and they reported that Danny was punished by Burnley. However, he did make amends with his manager, his teammates, and people behind the scenes at Burnley as well. The whole club are keen to move past this incident, and I know I'm going to sound super cynical, but when you realise that Burnley barely have any midfield players right now, It's only natural that they need to turn and rely on Danny Drinkwater to help them out in this situation. So the last thing you need to do is punish this player, make his morale even lower than it is, and ruin yourself and your chances in the Premier League because you don't have a midfield. So listen, it's how football works. It's just the nature of the business. Now you may be thinking, Nini, I guess the club are going to take matters in their own hands and punish Drinkwater. However, we're not going to do that. In my opinion, I don't think we have to. When you realise that Burnley are paying 50% of Drinkwater's 100k per week wages, listen, if you're paying that amount of money, you have a say, and that's how the club saw it, you know? They thought that Burnley can handle the situation by themselves because the club is currently registered with them. And to end this news update, it came out that Drinkwater may have suffered an Achilles injury due to it being stamped on. However, The Athletic did report that Drinkwater was moving with the ball in today's training session, so I'm guessing that, you know, people must have gassed the story up. It happens every single time. And all I can say to conclude this story is that I'm hoping that Drinkwater steps up now. He finds his professionalism again, you know, he finds his competitive edge, and, you know, he performs well. And in an ideal scenario, Drinkwater does bits for Burnley. Once his loan move finishes in January, he has better clubs trying to sign him on loan. He moves to them, he performs to them as well, and come the summer, Drinkwater is a player in demand, and we potentially get some of that money back after spending like, what, 40 million on Drinkwater in the first place. It's still crazy to this day that someone at the club decided to, you know, give the green light for this deal. It's crazy. However, you know, we don't need any more L's when it comes to getting rid of these players. And listen, let's all hope that Drinkwater does bits this season and he finally gets sold. But anyway, you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. If you liked today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. Help me get more than 1,500 likes. Don't forget to press the bell notification button as well. And if you want to get your own merch from the official Club Mega Store, you'll find it in the link in the description below. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. See you guys later.